Minister now called Deputy Dessie Ellis.
5 minutes. Minister, this budget will directly contribute to homelessness, and the recent launch by the Minister to end homelessness is farcical and nothing but a PR stunt. This budget continues the slashing of the housing budget, which since 2008 has been cut by over €1 billion. But most spectacularly, it continues this government's practice of attempting to spin a hit as a gift. This summer, when the Department of the Environment announced it would cut less than had been planned in Budget 2013, it heralded this as a boost in funding. The budget has been cut by many times this supposed boost. The department even claimed that it would specifically help the disabled and elderly shortly before Dublin City Council announced that their adoption grant scheme was to close early due to funding running out following a 40% cut. This government are fond of moving figures around and of redesignating funds from one place to another and claiming boosts left, right and centre. They have no time for being honest, properly funding housing or upholding the right of the people to adequate housing. 30 million has been promised for social housing in this budget, but the truth is there is a 58 million cut from the housing budget. This much prized 30 million would deliver, it is hoped, 500 homes in the context of 112,000 people on the housing waiting list and a further 5,000 people in homelessness. Every little helps, but this is minuscule in the scheme of things. It is also hard to take seriously when the government has been promising thousands of NAMA homes since 2011, with less than 500 actually being delivered. No doubt we will have some restating of this promise over the course of 2014, in the hope we have all forgotten and think this is something new. This is before we even consider the fact these homes remain in the ownership of the developers, bailed out by the public purse. They will be paid handsomely for the use of their properties and that they will have them returned in a few years, refurbished at the expense of the public. This failure to address housing is likely to continue the growth of homelessness seen in recent years, but the cut to rent supplement will, as shown in 2012, put people out of their homes. This is literally taken from those who have nothing to give. Rental supplement is a poverty trap. The Minister herself admitted it. Rent supplement recipients are in poverty, yet the government expects couples on rent supplement to fork out another €5 a week, €260 a year. They expect them to do this while their landlord is trying to raise their rent and even take an extra payment under the table. They're expected to do this as they are being pressured by the state already to get their rents lowered as rents all around them go up, in part because the government is intent on spending over £500 million subsidising private landlords and less on providing affordable, secure housing. The cut to young people on the dole will also put many people, especially of those who have been in care or similar circumstances, vulnerable young people, in a very precarious situation. Focused Ireland proposed a pathway last year to help young people affected by similar cuts already in place. Nothing has been done on this. This government doesn't care about housing people. It cares about meeting targets that the EU and the IMF set, and that in years' time it can be set its own targets and finally have the opportunity to initiate its own very Irish version of right-wing, anti-worker, pro-privatisation Reaganomics. The Minister for Transport mentioned smart travel in his contribution. The only thing smart about this government's approach to transport is from the perspective of those who wish to profit off the need of the public for a transport system. There is nothing smart about allowing private operators to cherry-pick from PSO routes currently serviced by Bus Éireann or Dublin Bus. There is nothing smart about making public service compete with private profit. The only result will be the public loss and the downfall of Dublin Bus and Bus Éireann, vital organisations to the social and economic life of the state. What is smart about actively discouraging people from using public transport? Fare increase, cuts to routes, cuts to fleets, less starts, cuts to pay for workers, which inevitably results in industrial action, as I myself warned in advance. These policies make public transport less attractive and make the government's own argument for them. Sell it off and be done with it. That's certainly what Fine Gael want, and what hope is their Labour have the guts or the wits to do anything to stop it. Finally, the 10 million announced for Pyrite is wholly inadequate and will not repair much more than a quarter of the 1,000 homes in most severe need of reparations and the thousands of other homes. This announcement also means that the public purse will foot this bill entirely, while the quarries and construction firms which use pyritic materials go untouched.
1 minute remaining.
People have to manage their own budgets. We accept that people have to manage their own budgets. And the Minister knows quite well, if you manage your own budget, you manage it in a way that you cut off all the excesses and all the extra expenses, and particularly the high expenses that you have. It's true to say Labour are the bones on which Fine Gael sharpened their teeth. That is what I've summed it up as.
Deputy Michael Kilreevy.